Welcome guys to the second part of the candlesticks tutorial. In the first part, we discussed the different types of candlesticks and the most common patterns. Now we are going to see how to use them in real trading. This video will also answer the questions that many of you guys have about what I mean when I say break and hold above a certain price level or break and hold below a certain price level. Alright, so let's begin. For this example, I have taken the chart of QQQ and I have drawn out the zones on the monthly and the weekly levels. So I've marked them. You can see this is a monthly zone. It acted as support a bunch of times and then acted as resistance. Another monthly zone acted as support in 2021 and then been acting as resistance all of 2022. Also acted as support for the first half of 2022. The last monthly support is here, which was the support back in September 2020 and for the last 4 months of 2022. We have a weekly zone in the middle of these two monthly zones and another weekly zone here. So based on that, I've drawn out my weekly and monthly zones. What I will be looking at is to trade this chart on the daily time frame. So let's see how one would use candlesticks in this process. One thing I do want to say is a momentum candle coming into a level is not as important as a momentum candle leaving a level. What do I mean by that? It means that if a momentum candle is coming into a support, let's say you have a big red candle coming into a support, that does not really make it too likely that it will break through the support. But a momentum candle leaving the support, a big green candle leaving the support, makes it very likely that the market sentiment has changed and now it's bullish. Same way on the other side, if you have a momentum candle, a strong green candle going into a resistance, like this here, does not mean it will break through the resistance. But a momentum candle leaving the resistance, like this one right here, shows that the market sentiment has changed and now that the direction has reversed. So this is something that's very important and that should be realized, because a lot of times what will happen is if you have a big green candle coming into a resistance, people will be already all bullish and they will think that price will just go right through the resistance and we're going to start a new trend or a new big move higher. But that's not the case. So a momentum candle coming into a price level is not as important or not as reliable as the momentum candle leaving a price level. So always remember that, and this is going to be the basis of how to use candlesticks for trading. So now that we have that, let's look at how price acted as some of these zones and we'll move on from there. So let's see how we would have made the story of price action back in January of 2022. So you had a big momentum candle coming into a support, and then what happens is price breaks below the support. So you can see a big momentum candle break below the support, and that's where you would have gone short because you would be bearish. The support is broken and you can go short there because this is a big momentum candle below the support. It shows that the bears are in full control. This is what I mean when I say break and hold below a certain price level. Now these zones are on the monthly charts. So in this case, I can look at a daily candle, see that it's a momentum candle, a strong candle, and that's breaking below support, so I can get short for the next level, next zone, which is on the weekly around 320. Now if you're trading the zones on the daily time frame, you can look for an hourly candle. So when I say break and hold below a certain price level, what you would look for is an hourly momentum candle below that price level. So if I say Apple, if it breaks and holds below 130, it can go to 125. Then you would look for an hourly candle below 130, which is a strong momentum candle, not an indecision candle and not a rejection candle. Vice versa for break and hold above. We will see some example of that too. So price broke below the support with a strong momentum candle and then continued lower to the next price level around 330. What do we see there? We see a rejection candle there. Price came lower, the sellers were in control, but at some point during the day, they lost control and buyers regained control by finishing the candle green. That is a reversal signal. After that, price consolidates a little, and then we have a strong momentum candle that pushes price back into the resistance. So now that price is back into the resistance, what did I just say? A strong momentum candle coming into a level is not as important as the one leaving it. So it came into the level, and what we have to do is just wait here. Wait here for the candle to leave this level. So price consolidates. It tries to have a momentum. It does have a momentum candle here, and maybe one would have got short at that. I wouldn't blame them, but you can see that there's a weekly zone right here. So that would have been the matter of caution, to be cautious. But in the same way, someone got short here and they had their stop right above this resistance, they would have still been fine. Either way, price consolidates a little, and then we have this strong momentum candle going away from this level, from the resistance. All right, so that's where one would get short, and we head lower to the next, back to the monthly zone. Now back in this monthly zone, we have this strong momentum candle into the zone, and back to the basic law. A momentum candle going into a zone is not as important as the one leaving it. So where does this leave here? It leaves green, so it goes up, which means now bulls have taken control on the daily time frame. And where should we expect it to go next? To the next zone. It went to the next zone. There we have a momentum candle which reverses the direction. So we come back to the support. Back into the support, we come back with strong momentum candles. But after that we have some indecision, more indecision, weak candles. And when does price finally decide to leave this zone? It decides it here with a strong momentum candle, and then we expect it to go to the next zone. What happens in the next zone is again an indecision candle, so market waits out and sees what happens. Then it leaves this zone with a good momentum candle and then ends up at the next zone. So this, something like this right here, this green candle, is what I mean when I say break and hold above a price level. So as I said, these zones are on the monthly charts, so we are looking at the daily time frame. Now if you have your zones on the daily time frame, you can look for 1 hour charts for entry. So in this case, when I say break a stock, let's say Microsoft if it breaks and holds above 234, it can go to 240. What I mean is a strong hourly candle above that 234 level, a strong momentum candle. That's when you can get long. If it was an indecision candle, let's say this was 234 on Microsoft, price went up, the buyers were in control, and within the hour, sellers got back in control and brought the price back lower. Then you would not enter. And you would tell me like, oh Ayush, but you said break and hold above. Yes, it broke above 234, it never held above, right? Buyers lost control. So this is how you use candlesticks combined with zones in order to trade. So back at the action, we came into the resistance. Let's see where price leaves. This time it left with a gap down. So it's obviously not the easiest to enter, but because it's a gap down, it's leaving this zone with a gap down. And then right into a weekly support, maybe you would just wait it out more. You have more indecision candles here. And then another gap down, not much to do, more indecision. And then we have a strong momentum candle leaving away from this zone at 350. That's when you can get short with a stop right above this. And you would probably take profits at the support level again. Wait to see which momentum candle leaves this zone. So in this case, a strong momentum candle left this zone down, and then we go short and go back lower. So I hope you guys are starting to see how to use candlesticks to create a story around important price levels and trade the markets. That's what the important purpose is. You can try and memorize all the different patterns, the evening star, morning star, all the other stuff, but unless you can formulate a story of what the candlesticks are trying to say, it will be very difficult to trade with them. So this is how I use it. Let's look at some more examples, randomly pick here. All right. We have prices at this zone. It leaves the zone strongly with a momentum candle downwards. We get short, take profits at the next level. Let's see what price does here. We have an indecision candle. We have a strong momentum candle, which leaves this zone. You can also see this is bullish engulfing. So it leaves this zone, goes back to the resistance, and then we have a major momentum candle back into the support, but this time it breaks lower. So because this breaks lower, you can get short, and after that we go to the next zone down. Once we get down here, you see a strong momentum candle into the support. As I said, a momentum candle into a level is not as important as to the one leaving it. So the one that leaves it is right here, goes to the smaller resistance. This is a daily zone, and then it gets pushed back. When it gets pushed back, again, strong momentum candles into the support, not as important as the one leaving it. We have a big green bullish engulfing candle, and you can see there's another momentum candle back into support, but it's not as important. Unless it breaks below, unless it leaves this zone, it's not as important, because coming from above, it's not as important. So we have this. After that, we go back and we push away from this zone with a momentum candle here on 21st October, and then we go up. Again, good push back with the momentum candle at this zone, come back lower, and so on, and then we finally end up back at this weekly zone sometime in November. Now, a strong momentum candle into a zone is not as important as the one leaving it, so let's see where it left. It left in December and right back at it. Now, where we are right now is we have a strong momentum candle into this zone around 281. A strong momentum candle into an important zone is not as important as the one leaving it. Now, everybody is bullish here already. What happens if a strong momentum candle leaves this zone away? Then we go back to the support. So, hope you guys get the clear picture of how to read candlesticks, how to use them to enter trades and potentially exit trades once they are at your target levels, and how to formulate a story with candlesticks. That's it. That's how I use it. This is what I would say is the best way to use it. People who memorize all the candlestick patterns, I don't really know how they can efficiently use it anyways. But this is my view on it. Alright guys, good luck.